I am the Grim Crusader, and this is the Iron Sultante. The pact between the Iron Sultante and the assassin fortress of Alamut ensures that the Sultan is served by an exquisitely skilled killers of the Old Man of the Mountain in exchange for their independence of the assassin's domain. But though most outsiders know the assassins through their service to the forces of the Iron Wall, sometimes during the dark of night, small, deadly bands move silently into the hellscape of the no man's land. In deepest secrecy, Shid al-Din Senen, the undisputed ruler of Alamut, dispatches his hand-picked disciples on missions of his own, communicating their orders with no spoken words, signs, nor written messages, but talking directly to them in their dreams. What the purpose of such operations is no one knows, and not even the most sadistic heretic, torturer priest, has been able to make them divulge the secrets of Alamut from the captured assassins. These warbands are known as Fida'i, which means sacrifice, dedicated to completing their mission and returning to Alamut to receive rewards said to be able to match those of the paradise itself. They are led by a master assassin, one of the deadly hands of Alamut, with 2 fully trained members of the order. A number of trainee acolytes will serve them during the mission, eager to prove their mettle and to be initiated into the Order of Assassins. Alamut is also a home to a renegade sect of Islami dervishes, warrior monks sworn to poverty and a lethal way of fighting. They accompany the assassins on their secret missions as an act of piety and payment for their shelter, and their whirling dance of death has been the end of many a disbeliever. Today we're talking about the Fida'i of Alamut, which is the flock of assassins. It's the assassins warband that you can have. This is the one I use all the time. This is the main warband that I love. It's a little bit more expensive than you would a normal warband, but you actually can't take certain things from the list of the Sultanate, which is unfortunate but cool because you get the dervish monks. And they're pretty awesome. The masters, you can have up to 3 assassins, and one of them has to be a master assassin. They gain tough, but they cost 95 ducats, which is a little bit more expensive than Ubazi, but once you add things to Ubazi, it's about the same. The assassin alkalates, which are the Azebs, and they get infiltrator with plus 10 ducats per model, which means that they get to come into the battle after everybody's been deployed, which is pretty cool, so you can kind of see where they're setting up and pop them in there. The Alamut alone, so the warband may not include Ubazi, alchemists, janissaries, lions of Jabir, or the brazen bull, which I thought at first was like, that's kind of scary, but you get the dervishes, which is pretty awesome. So killing squad. So your warband may have a single fire team. So these fire teams may consist of any 2 models from your warband, any models at all. So models in these fire teams gain the keyword fire team, of course. Dervishes, which are awesome. I actually are searching for some models that would fit the dervishes. I've been using my janissaries for this, but the warband may include up to 4 dervishes. So you use the janissary statistics, but you include it in the army, but they cannot use the reinforced armor. So these troops have the whirling dervishes special rule instead of the keyword strong. So you take away strong, but the whirling dervishes is the ritual of the dance of dervishes, is a hypnotic to the witness, and it is as graceful as it is deadly. All ranged attacks against the dervishes suffer a -1 dice penalty. Dervishes do not suffer the normal -1 dice to hit for fighting with an offhand weapon, which is pretty awesome. So here is the art of assassination. So this is where this list gets pretty cool. So any assassin of the warband may buy any of these abilities at the cost of indicated below. So there cannot be any duplicates in the warband, and you can only buy 1 for each assassin. So it's pretty awesome. The simple little things that you can choose for each one of your assassins, and there's 4. You can take 3. I usually do the Thunderbolt and the hallucinogen. I can't even say the word hallucinogen disguise. So
we'll start with that. It's 20 ducats. It's the most expensive one, next to the Thunderbolt. An infiltrator with this ability can be deployed anywhere on the battlefield, including the enemy deployment zone, as long as a model is at least 8 inches away from the enemy models. The model does not have to be out of line of sight. So binoculars or guard dogs have no effect on this ability. So this one is infiltrator, and they can even be in deployment zones of the enemy, which is really awesome. I use this one right here. The next one is the Thunderbolt. The model has +2 movement and plus dice on its dash actions. So it has +1 dice on its dash actions, and it gets +2 inch movement. So this moves fast. Mirage of Time, both ranged and melee attacks against the assassin suffer a -1 dice penalty when determining if they hit. I have used this one. It does come in handy, but Secret Pass, it's 5 less. And I've been experimenting with the Secret Pass a lot more than I have the Mirage of Time. When I just want something simple, I use the Mirage of Time. So Secret Pass is at the start of the battle, right before the first model is set up. You declare whether or not this model will be set up by using Secret Pass. A model with using the Secret Pass is not set up on the battlefield at the start of the battle, and it may not be activated normally during the first turn. Starting on the second turn, though, you may activate these models. When you do, set up the model in a contact with an edge of the battlefield, but more than 8 inches away from all enemy models at the start of its activation. If both players have such models, the starting player declares whether one of the models is deployed or not first, followed by the other player. Alternate as normal until all such models have been declared using Secret Pass or not. So if you can imagine, anywhere on the battlefield, he can show up on the start of turn 2 and start wreaking some havoc. So for 10 ducats, it seems kind of worth it, but I have found that having the Disguise, the Thunderbolt, and the Mirage works a heck of a lot better. And I've been trying to make this Secret Pass work in my benefit, which it does work, but not as much as this Mirage of Time. I think that these 3 right here are more, they cost more, but they're more worth your ducats than the Secret Pass. Now, you could have a totally different idea on that, and that's totally fine, but that's the route that I take. So the Fida'i of Alamut, special weapons and equipment. So the golden Canahar. So this here, it adds +1 to injury rolls. So a roll of a 7 on the injury chart becomes an 8. A model armed with the golden Canahar can make 2 attacks instead of 1 in melee with a melee attack action. So this effect also applies to a golden Kanjar wielded offhand. So you can limit it to 2, and it's assassins only. So you can have 2 of them with this here. I do use this for 2 attacks, and it does work. Now the bow. I do have a model with a bow, and I've been wanting to use it. I do have a model with a bow. It's awesome. I use this bow of Alamut. It's really great. It ignores the armor. If the assassin hits a model and causes at least 1 blood marker, the assassin may instantly place itself into melee combat with the model if there is a legal space that the assassin could occupy within 1 inch of the model, regardless of the distance to the target or any interposing models or obstacles. So the assassin is considered to have charged the model, although it does not count as a charge action, and therefore the assassin can take the move action at a later point on this turn, if it hasn't already. Note that if the bow takes the target out of action, no blood markers are caused, and this movement cannot be made. So I do use this bow. It's incredibly good. It's basically teleporting after you've put a blood marker on them, and I'd say probably about 90% of the time blood markers happen with the bow. It's got a 40-inch range. Like, you can hit anything and then immediately go in there and attack them. So if you didn't take them out with the bow, you're definitely going to take them out in close combat. So the leaf here is before the battle begins, any model may use this item to gain the keyword strong until the end of the battle. So this gives you 4, it's consumable, and it costs 5 ducats just so your model can have strong, which is pretty cool. So I've only done this once with the leaf, and that's just because I wanted to take a different weapon. And also further on in the battles and stuff like that, as you're going on, when you get 9 to 1,000 ducats during a campaign, it is definitely useful, especially when you have more ducats to spend. But there you go. There is the Fida'i of Alamut, and I think they are awesome. They are my favorite one. It's the Cabal of Assassins, and I hope you enjoyed this. Please subscribe if you haven't. I really appreciate it.